Hello everyone and welcome back to another short video. This time we're in Yahaha as I said, and I want to show you a new feature, or a feature that that I don't know if other creators have used that much, so I just want to show you. And also spoil a bit about the new space I'm working on. So what I did here is work out a very simple, very straightforward dungeon layout, where you basically start at the entrance of the dungeon. There's a teleporter for the outside, which I will install further. The dungeon does not yet have a ceiling, which will also come later, because I have to build some stuff inside the dungeon first, put some mobs in it. So the dungeon basic layout is really simple. You walk down the path to the first door, where there will be a boss. Further down there will be a second boss, a treasure chest, and a way up to the entrance. And we're going to set up this dungeon in another space with a bit of node graphing in between. For now, I want to show you a very simple thing. So the whole dungeon, the floor, the walls, this is not what I wanted, the detailed decoration, basically everything is single part, or everything is a simple group. The doors are are single objects. There's a treasure chest, and there's a VFX effect that will show you basically the entrance, or where the teleporter is headed, so you don't accidentally stay inside it. And the whole thing is one big group. So I have made this one group because I can do the following now. You can see in the resource box I have nothing under my creations currently. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click this object. We can also do this in the viewport, and add to my creations, which gives us a creation under assets, under the resource box, assets, my creations. So far so good. I'm going to close this space. I'm going to save all the changes. And we are going to the Chaos Highland, the place I'm currently working on. As you can see, there's a lot of placeholders right now because I am working on the modeling importing. So one is in review because I couldn't import it last time, so there's that. And there will be this overlay map, basically, where the people are, where the players are moving, and where players can choose what to do. And I want to import the dungeons. I could have built the dungeon here, obviously, but I wanted to show you the creations, because now I can just load this one in, and I have the whole group, the whole dungeon group, already inside of the old dungeon. Inside this, you can also do this with other creations in case you just created something that you want to reuse in another scene, another space. You can just upload this to My Creations, and then reuse it in another space. What you can't do is publish this to the asset library, because this is not an upload. You would have to upload your own models. So, for example, this one to publish it for the library. Okay, so we have the dungeon. Of course, we want to set up a few details. For example, what is already set up is that, let's check that out. If we walk up to this door, it should open, at least from this side. Yeah. So basically, when we start the dungeon, we start up here, and if we manage to go through the whole dungeon, we can then shortcut out of here. So far, so good. We are going to set up a very simple mob that will open. So basically the boss that will open this door. This is not the final boss. This is just a test mob for now. A big goblin lady which will guard this gate more or less, or she's set in this room. In one of the following videos I will try to give the bosses some kind of mechanic that players will have to figure out, or in the case of the boss I will show you, you will already have figured it out because I'm showing it to you. Yeah, this is just for testing purposes, so we are going to make this a bit easier than it should be. The boss that will definitely be a group challenge, or that is supposed to be group challenge, will be a one-shot for now. Yeah. And what we are going to do is we are going to take this, we are going to give it a move component, which we will set to trigger whenever the boss 1 has sufficient health at 0. We want this to actually go up is fine to around 5. So far so good. We're going to duplicate this boss for the second door as well. Actually, we probably don't need to, but we can do it anyway. We'll also copy paste the move component, copy component. This is the gate. We're going to paste the component. We are going to set this to the boss 2 insufficient health. So far so good. Let's check. She has 1 trigger and 1 target, and she has 1 trigger, 1 target. Okay, the treasure chest will drop loot once. Yeah, but the actual interesting thing is that I want to set up is a node graph, because if we run this dungeon right now, yeah, let's do this. So far so good. I don't get this door open, yeah, even though I probably am small enough to fit through. Okay, before I do this, let's quickly increase our walking speed and run speed a bit, and maybe start in front of the boss. Okay, so far so good. Everything works just fine. Okay, this one goes down. Okay, we can change that a bit. Rather big treasure chest, which is fine. I'll probably make my own so I can have the lid separately and that it can actually open. And now I'm going for the shortcut. And we're done with the dungeon, basically. Now there's one problem, because now all the doors are open, and if you would redo the dungeon, you would basically yeah, you couldn't, the doors were open. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the whole dungeon. We're going to add a big trigger box. Okay, we actually need to make this a bit bigger. I'd say about 90, maybe 90 by 9. No, 90 by 90. By, let's say 30. 30 looks good. Okay, this is a bit bigger than the actual thing, which is perfect. Okay, so the whole dungeon now has a trigger box. And I'm going to save this. Next thing, what we're going to set up before we go into the details is for every gate gets an empty object. Shortcut. Gate. 0 pos. Okay, so 0 position. Probably calling that the pose. I mean, this isn't really that important. Final gate. Wait. Final gate gets an empty object, which is called final gate underscore z pos, and gate 01 gets an empty object, which is called gate 01 z pos. Okay. And you already know what I'm going to do, because you are so smart, and this is perfectly fine. This is very simple, and I did this 1,000 times in other videos before. We are going to add a node graph, a new node graph, which is called dungeon 01 reset, which we can't do because we can't do underscores. So it's dungeon 01 reset. Okay. The usual open folder. Yes, I trust. I'm so trusty. Yeah, I'm sorry for the accent. I just watched The Click a lot, and I tend to copy accents I hear because it's just really funny. Okay. We are starting with the trigger exit. Yeah. By the way, the second one, the one where you have to start with an entity, doesn't work. So if you have a trigger that asks you for an entity on the input, don't use it. Do not work. Is not work. Okay, trigger. Get entity ID. Duplicate. Self. We can also just say dungeon 01, so we know that it is this one. Can also just pull this out and plug this in. All of these ways work. We want the integer equal. We want this to be a is player character. And now we're going to see the first problem, because as soon as the first character leaves this trigger, yeah, if I would build it like this, the first time a character leaves this trigger, it would reset the whole dungeon, which is not what, I mean, we could work with this, but then we could have a player trapped between the first and the second door in the worst case, which we do not want. So we need to either find a way to check that no other players are inside the box, Or we need to do something else. So let's see if we can actually do that. And so far this is actually fine. No, we need an end for this one. The lines should not cross. Yeah, this is like, I mean, this doesn't really matter. Okay, so now basically we need to check if the trigger box, if there is no player in the trigger box. Let's see what we have. Get player character. No. Get player entity. No. This player character. Let's see. So let's build this first so we can actually try it before we do the complex stuff. Okay. So right now we have set this up that if the player character is exiting the dungeon, this is true. Then we're going to do the following thing. We're going into the movable component. We're going to set the move speed to 5 actually. We're going to need this one, 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 we're going to need this one. Okay, and we need a get global position. We need to set a move speed. We need to set the target position, which is obviously this one. We're going to need the move speed, target position. We need to start this movement. Okay, and we need to actually do this 3 times. Yeah. Shortcut gate. I should probably move all this down a bit. Shortcut gate. Let's plug all this in. Okay. So far so funny. Basically. Okay, final gate, get position. Whoop. 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 So the 0 pos position, and this should basically, when we leave the dungeon, reset the dungeon. Well, now we need to reset. We need to set up the dungeon that it actually leaves. That we actually can leave. Okay, let's do this very simple. The dungeon entrance has entrance has a teleporter. Destination is fishy 1. Teleport will need 1 second cooldown, and let's save this. Let's compile this and save this and compile this again, just because I do not know if I actually did that. And let's say. Okay, this is actually a bad idea. Oh, actually, I can't really check this because I would not see if it has reset. So let's where's fishy one? This one is fishy one. Okay. Do we see the dungeon from there? Hopefully we do. We should see yeah, we should see the final gate, which is enough to test. Okay, so we're going to start here. Okay, so final gate is open. We're going to teleport out. Interesting. I did not see that happen. Yeah, I wonder why I died. But probably because I clipped under, because the teleportation point was so low that I clipped basically through the thing. Okay, and as we can see, the gate did not reset. Why not? Why did it not reset? This is interesting. Oh, it moved this door. Okay. Okay, why is this door moved? Interesting. Let's check again. We walk up here. And we don't see anything interesting. Okay. Let's fix that first. We can fix that very easy. So, like this. Okay. Let's see. Shortcut gate. Okay. It gets the position. It sets the target position for the shortcut gate. It sets the movement speed and it starts the movement. Did I forget anything? The mover component? Start, stop, set movement speed. Set target position. Maybe this is the riddle solution, as we say in German. But we say it in German, not in English. Okay, at least this worked. Yeah, so as you can see, still work to be done. But at least I got to show you the My Creations function. And hopefully I can show you a dungeon run with one person and really simple mobs at the end of the week, at which point this will make a big jump forward, because as soon as I figured out how everything works, I can yeah, do the other two dungeons for this one, for this world, put in all the places that I want, and then we're basically ready to go. We'll see. As for now, have a nice week, and see you guys around.